Okay, hello YouTube. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Dragon Sicilian. E4, C5, knight of 3, D6, D4, CD4, knight D4, knight of 6, knight C3, G6 begins the Dragon, then we're going to have bishop E3, bishop G7, F3 begins the Yugoslav, knight C6, queen D2, castles kingside, castles queenside, then black is going to play the only real respected move in this position, which is pawn to D5, and of course as you can see here there's just a multitude of moves here, but the main examination and focus of this video is going to be on the move king to b1. So now for the most part, the only move that people really play here is they play the move knight takes d4 with the idea that after something simple like bishop d4, you have d takes e4, and this is sort of advantage black. For the most part, people play the move pawn to e5 here, and then we're going to have knight to f5, and then we're going to have e takes f6, and now you have two main options. The main move that all the top players play in this position is e takes f6, and this move is really interesting, and this is probably the best way to go to try to get equality with black, but there is this really interesting alternative, which is going to be the focus of this video, and that's this move after e takes f6. That's this move bishop takes f6. So the idea here is kind of this cute little queen sacrifice. After knight d5, you're going to sacrifice your queen for that knight, and then after queen takes queen, you take the bishop. And the point is now you're forking queen and rook, so the queen moves, and then you have knight d1, queen d1, and then you develop your bishop. So basically what's going on here is you have these two bishops that are slicing and dicing, and you're aiming these bishops directly at the white king. It's also super logical just to bring your rooks to these open files and to build up your attack against the white king. So if you're looking at this position and you're going, okay, well, look at the material. We've got a rook and a bishop for the queen, and black also has the bishop pair. It should seem like black should already have more than enough compensation for the queen. You know, a rook and a bishop that's almost for the queen, and, you know, tack on the bishop pair, tack on the fact that it's aiming at white's queen side. It seems like this is the type of thing Dragon players should be going for. And certainly if white plays really passively, that's kind of how things are going to play out. Like if white just plays like h4, h5 and pretends like he can get his normal kingside attack, sure, the rooks will come to the open files, we're going to create some threats against the white king, and that's going to be that. But the move that gives us the most headaches is this move bishop to b5. So the idea here is these bishops are slicing and dicing. We're scared. So we want to bring this bishop out and then maneuver it back to the b3 square. Once we do that, we block up all the light squares, and then black's position just isn't such a big deal. It's actually really hard to get things going. So white's strategy is basically just a defensive strategy, and then once he eliminates the bishop pair, once he plays, you know, bishop a4, bishop b3, then he can start pressing for an advantage once he's eliminated the attacking potential that black has in his position. So there's a couple kind of natural looking things that black can try here, and none of the supernatural looking ideas seem to work. So like when I first saw this position with the black pieces, one of my initial ideas was to just, well, let's just kick the bishop back. Let's just, okay, fine, it wants to go to b3. We'll kick it back, and then we'll play bishop c4. So this was kind of my main idea, is if he takes on c4 and we take back, who cares that I just lost the bishop pair? I am now going to be exerting pressure on the b2 square, which again is just a very natural thing for a Dragon player to do. This position just looks really good. Turns out it's not. Like, if white just plays c3, and then we have rook b8, and then white just defends everything, black really can't get anything out of this, even if he just continues to try. You know, he can play like, you know, rook b5, etc. None of it seems to matter. You know, white can just defend everything. So like another try was, okay, fine, a6 loses the tempo. Let's try a little bit more sophisticated. Let's try rook a b8. Same idea. So then they should still play bishop to a4 to b3 because they want to block up that diagonal. So now we have b5, bishop to b3, bishop c4, same idea. But hey, now I'm up a tempo. I've already got my rook on the b file. So we have queen c1, a5. I forced them to play bishop c4, bc4, and again c3. So we're kind of in the same position, but let's go ahead and follow it up. I mean, I got an extra move here. I've played a5. So rook d8, a4, rook to d3, and now king c2 holds absolutely everything. And this is the point. You can't add any more ammunition to this position. Like, you can't play that. You've maximized all of black's pieces, and that's it. That's all that's left. So now, once white starts trading some pieces off, like rook d1, rook d3, that's it. You don't have enough left to continue the attack. So the question is, of course, with all of this, is there anything at all in this position? Is there anything at all that we can play for? So we have bishop takes, knight takes, queen takes, takes, and we end up here. Is there anything that we can play to here? Bishop b5, threatening to block everything up. So after looking at this on the engine for a really long time, I came to the conclusion that this is kind of possible. Like, you can play rook fd8, and then just pile, after a6, bishop a4, start piling both rooks on the d file, but with tempo. So a6, bishop a4, we play rook d4, we hit the bishop on the a4 square with tempo, bishop back to b3, we make this exchange, bishop b3, a b3, and then we bring the other rook to the d file. Now, it turns out that there's enough counterplay here that black should be doing okay. White can play g4, but the whole point is we're preventing, further attempts at breaking through our position with either like rook d5 or even pawn to g5 here is fine. So white's not going to be able to make progress on the king side. He's not going to be able to break through with, g4, g5, etc. But meanwhile, black has infiltration threats of its own, starting with trying to infiltrate on the 7th rank with something like, rook to d2. And because of this, black kind of holds a little bit of a dynamic balance here. Now, according to the engine, this is still very, very slight edge white, but it's not major advantage white. So this is probably worth trying with the black pieces. Black seems to hold some sort of dynamic equality here. And if you are going to play this really cool looking queen sack with the black pieces, this looks like the path that you have to go down. So anyways, I hope that you found this video helpful. I hope you learned something new about chess, and I hope you can use these ideas in your own games. Thank you very much for watching.